I figured I'd make a video to show you how I did this because you picked the right song to ask about my process for the drums because this is one of the most convoluted songs when it comes to how I made it, and figured it'd be fun to make a little walkthrough of how I made it. I've been meaning to make a video like this of one of my songs maybe because people will ask me sometimes about certain things I do, and this one's super fun, especially because um, it's a hybrid of a lot of things. I actually sampled um, this old reel of tape that came with my Tascam 16 track, and it was from an old um, album that the previous owner like had recorded. One of his clients, I think, was this guy named Ginger Briscoe, which I was able to find the recordings on YouTube, but it was like some sort of folky acoustic rock band, and um, and it sounds really cool. But the interesting thing is that when that machine was used in the 90s, it was at 30 IPS, and at some point someone had modded this machine to run at 16 IPS, or 15, sorry. And in that process, that tape will play at half speed incorrectly, from what the actual music sounds. So um, I could show you. This is like the Ginger Briscoe recording. Um, and I took a section of it. And let me see how this sounds. And that's just the instrumental, so it's a little. I'll get to the drums later. So, um, oddly enough, this song I had already recorded without the aid of any of these samples. I had basically finished, but I felt like I left it. I was like, it wasn't exactly where I wanted it, but it was a work in progress. I recorded it one day. The next day, my friend, I was chatting with him, and I was like, hey, like I have this old tape I've always been wanting to mess with and like maybe make something out of it, but I wasn't sure if it would be appropriate. It's not my music, or it's kind of like, I don't know, but um, I've sampled before, but something about it felt like, this tape, maybe should I just record over it or should I keep it? And he was like, you should go for it, do something with it. And so I was like, oh, okay, challenge accepted. And so I had this song, Thank You, and which was not called Thank You at the time. I was figuring it out, but um, had lyrics and stuff. But so I'll show you, you know, without any of the sampled elements, which are these right here, I think, and these. I think this one too. Well, yeah. I'll find out. We'll piece it together one by one. So this is this is like a keyboard recorded. Um, so that's the bass I recorded, and that's also me. And this is the original drums I had. Which are just kind of, I use Groove Agent samples on this one, a vintage kit. And then I think these might be the layers I used from Ginger Briscoe's recording. Yeah, okay. This guitar is from the old reel-to-reel master tape. And this is also from the reel-to-reel. Some Rhodes. And then I think this is just a vocal track. The shirt you gave me. And then these drums I chopped up like crazy from the Ginger Briscoe drums, which originally sound something, I found them here, originally sounded something like this, with half speed. Yeah, something like, I think I used this section where he plays with the closed hi-hat. And with that, I chopped it up as a stereo track, and I chopped it up to make a similar groove to what I had initially, which is this. The reason it sounds like that is because I gated it pretty heavily, just to make it sound a little tighter, and then some full compressor, I think just to really squash it, punch it, and some low end. I added this near the end, I think, because it felt like it was lacking in low end. My friend told me, oh, maybe it could use some more subs. And then, but yeah, I mean, initially the song, the day before I had the idea to try that on this song, it was just these elements and the vocals. So it was just like, it's just a little more, in the box kind of sounding, with the drum machine. And another thing to note is that this song was actually in a different key. So yeah, the vocals hadn't been recorded yet. I think I had no idea what to do with the vocals. I think I wrote them after the samples, because all of this was in a different key. So I actually transposed some stuff. So initially I had recorded, let me show you these two tracks. If there's a way to undo if I go here, go to pitch shift. Yeah, it was, cancel that. Let me undo the pitch shift or bypass it. On these two. Let me see if I'm doing that right. I don't know if these are, oh yeah, they're bypassed. So initially the key of the song was like this. I'll play this part. And I think the Sims and stuff I had to drag down basically, so those would have been at the same key as that too. So, you can get the picture. But then once I had this Ginger Briscoe recording, I was like, well, I really like the tone of this low sounding kind of, I mean, this is really cool. Like whatever this band was doing has this, like, it has this really beautiful, like, ambient post-rocky guitar with the delay, and especially at half speed, it sounds like I don't know, like a baritone or something. And then the Rhodes too. Unless did I correct the pitch of these? I'm pretty sure. No, yeah, these are just at the half speed, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Processes, pitch shift. Yeah, these are not pitch shifted, but they're stretched a little bit. I like stretched them to fit in time with the song, basically. So I had to like chop them up. If I take this, whatever this element was, and it kind of didn't make much sense at first. It was like, well, let me delete this here for a second. Let's stretch it out. It was like, I felt like there were some cool chord changes, like some tonal that went with the chord changes with that melody, but it didn't quite sync up. So then I chopped it up to fit with the bass line. And there's a little bit of like a dissonance in there. Well, actually, this is Oh man, this is pitch shifted. Let me go back to the pitch shifting where it should be. So we'll enable that. It should be good. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's how I got that. And the drums, like I said, that was the main focus of this. But I just thought this was a crazy kind of way of crafting a song. But the this drums, where are they? The Groove Agent. I just put a little tape saturation, actually a lot. Yeah, I like cranked it so it's pretty crunchy. And I have it on the 7 IPS, it's darker, no noise reduction, the darker EQ is really woolly sounding. And then I like this Helios EQ sometimes to give it a more vintage sound, I guess. I like the EQ points too. And it just boosted some mid-range to make it a little, and some low end, just fat kind of low mids and stuff. And then this I boosted a little bit to give it some more subs because I felt like it was lacking some subs. And then Wolf compressor again, and then combined with those two, with this one gives some brightness, some clarity. That hi-hat and snare, it's like very snappy. And yeah, again with these drums, if I unchop them, we'll hear those that were very, very different. And I think these drums, now on the drums, I'm pretty sure I actually I basically sped them twice. I to twice speed, double speed to basically correct that weird IPS problem. So yeah, if we hear these unprocessed, you'll get a sense of what he was playing in real life before it got sped down or slowed down. So yeah. So okay, interesting. So this was actually a ride sample. This is a ride, but so he was playing on the ride, not the hi-hats. But because of the gating, it gave it that effect of being a hi-hat. It almost sounds like a weird like choppy crash cymbal or something. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And then yeah, that's the odd textures all come from the samples, or else it would sound a little more vanilla, I guess. But those really eerie kind of guitar and Rhodes really help that song a lot. Especially the Rhodes. I mean, that one was like, oh, these chords are perfect for this. And I nudged some stuff to make it work. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that.